Here at the Resort World Cruises, I am joined by Mr. Naresh Raval, the Senior Vice President. Thank you so much for joining us on NDTV, sir. So first of all, I want to ask you, in terms of global tourism, this whole cruise line, what do you think is the biggest significance in terms of global tourism?
Okay, so if you talk about the global tourism, or if I talk about Dubai as the home port, uh, with Resorts World One now home porting in Dubai, it attracts a lot of nationalities and gives them another reason to come back to Dubai. And that has been our promise to the local governments. What we get them is a set of guests who possibly were not coming into Dubai for the purpose of cruising. So whether it's the Southeast Asian market or it's a South Asian market, that's what we get for them. Any of these guests, when they come to Dubai, it's not just about it's not just about going and having a great cruise. They will surely spend a couple of nights on land, and that adds to the economy of that particular, the home port or the ports of call that we go into. So yes, so overall, if you see, and it's also an opportunity for the travel partners locally and internationally to add another product into their kitty and create revenues for themselves.
Do you think, as you talked about home porting, do you think there's a possibility of maybe using the Kochi ports or maybe the Bombay ports in India as one of the home ports going forward?
So we never stop thinking. So we would never say that's not an option. For sure, we're keeping our options open. And India has a great coastline. Now, we will keep exploring and figuring out, as to when are we ready to put a ship in India. And as the right time comes, we will make our announcements.
And so one last question. So we were here on the 31st of October.
Mhm.
So do you think there was a particular reason why that date was picked? Did it have an Indian connection at all?
Okay, it was Diwali, and Diwali is considered auspicious. Okay, and that's the very reason when we were deciding. It's a hard work of 2 years, which is now got the ship here. When it came to choosing the date when she should arrive, we very between us and the management, the decision was very clear. Let's come around to Diwali. It gives a compelling reason for people, because it's Diwali holidays. People would fly in. It's the locals here who would come and enjoy Diwali on board. The ship is decorated with Diwali theme. There are Indian sweets. There are Indian performances. This entire week is dedicated to Diwali.
Here at the Resort World Cruises, I'm joined by the president of the company, Mr. Michael Go. Thank you so much for joining us on NDTV, sir. Thank you for your time. Sir, I want to start off by asking you, in a project as big as this, definitely countries all across the world, the governments of those countries must be involved in this. So have you had any conversations with, governments across the Gulf, and how have those conversations been for you?
Now, of course, I think we had, and when it comes to any deployment, the support from the local authority is actually extremely important. I think so far we are really kind of like very happy that the authority has been so supportive and makes our deployment smooth, and we are here. So we start our inaugural actually out from Dubai on 1st of November.
So, sir, in terms of global tourism, what do you think this project brings? Because, right now it's just 3 or 4 countries are involved. Do you think going forward this is going to be an international, it's going to be operational on an international scale for global tourism?
I mean, the beauty of the cruise business is we cater to international audience. So our passengers come from different parts of the world. So it is important that, like when you come and cruise on board Resort Worldwide, to provide the international experience. So the bonus actually coming on board our cruises is, beside the international ambience that you get, you also get to kind of like have the Asian hospitality. It is really very well known, and as well as the different kinds of cuisine that you typically find actually from Asia. So it is really something, a very different experience.
So, sir, again, in terms of cultural integration, do you think India comes into the picture a lot more going forward? Because now, of course, starting from Dubai, there's a huge Indian audience obviously involved. So, do you think India and home porting in India, for example, could be an option going forward for the company?
No, we'd always actually explore different home port, a different port of call. But of course, I think this time we are home port actually in Dubai. And we see that yes, I think India will be one of the key segments of our passenger on board. I think beside India, we also been working very closely to other of our international business partners. So maybe whether they are going to be from China, they are going to be from Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia. So when the passenger come on board, you kind of like we have a kind of a mix of international passenger.
Here at the Resort World Cruises, I am joined by Mr. Saud Hareb Almheiri, who's of course one of the leaders in Dubai's Department of Economy and Tourism. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on NDTV. So first and foremost, I would like to ask you. So in your address earlier, you had mentioned about the D33 agenda. So can you just tell our viewers a little bit about how that works and how it helps in attracting global tourism?
Absolutely. So the D33 agenda was launched by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. We want to ensure with the D33 economic agenda that we are looking at all the sectors of the economy, you can say. We want to double the population by 2033. So we want to double the economy as well. And this really sits in well with the cruise industry to further consolidate Dubai as a leading and premier cruise destination.
So, sir, am I right in saying that the Dubai government is looking at collaborating with other countries across the world in this project?
We collaborate, with the cruise liners and with the service providers that help the ecosystem for the cruise. So we look at the whole ecosystem and we see, where can we facilitate the growth, and we continue pushing and pushing to drive demand to Dubai as well as ensure that Dubai stays the number one cruise destination in the region.
So, sir, in terms of global tourism, do you think India as a country comes into the picture in terms of collaboration?
Oh yes, absolutely. India has always been one of our top two, top three source markets in the world in terms of inbound tourism, and especially for cruise tourism, it's also very attractive for Indians to come to Dubai and take a cruise from Dubai.